Alright, so here's the 55, right? I've had some filter changes going on here. I'll get to them in a second. But so like, that is a Sun 304B in the corner there. It works fantastically. I like it very much. Inexpensive, it's not a Flue Ball FX series, those things are super expensive for virtually the same product. I mean, really, it's a canister filter. It is what it is. So anyway, it is awesome. It breaks surface tension pretty well. And I had two of them on here, but I have since purchased a Trigger Systems sump, and I went through a bunch of bullshit DIY tubing, and I wasn't impressed with how it looked ultimately, and functionality wasn't terrible, but I was losing suction, and the little drill piece at the very top with a little air tube was leaking all the time, and I had to redo it a few times, and I'm just not confident that that's going to keep a siphon while power goes out or something. So anyway, I put this little bowl of air stone in there just to break surface tension, because I was getting that film on the top in the 2 days that I had removed the second 304B. So now I just got this eshops overflow box. It's the PF 300, and I mean, some people complain about it online. I'm right out of the box, maybe 5 minutes, and I was able to get a siphon almost immediately, and then it's only got that small air bubble at the top, so it's not really a big deal. I bet I could get it out if I really wanted to get a mouthful of water, but it seems to be flowing pretty damn well. Now I have PVC, but I haven't finished the hard plumbing of it quite yet. It is set. This is how I'm going to have it, but I'm getting water because I haven't cemented anything together yet. You know what I mean? So this is my dry fit, dry fit, and it seems to be working pretty damn well. I mean, I set my level of my tank right where I want it, and I mean, it is right where I want it. Seems to be doing its job. It's an overflow box, you know what I mean? So it's like, people were complaining, oh, it came with a broken piece. Well, that shit happens. Send the shit back, get a new one. They'll give it to you. I mean, give me a break, man. It's their warrant, their shit, I'm sure. And I will say, there's see that little plastic screw right there in the middle? Focus, right in there. That one went in just fine. That's the adjustment to make sure this thing's level to or parallel to your tank. So I'm pretty damn close. But then there's another one that attaches this to this, right? That bolt is a little chintzy, so be careful. Don't over torque it or anything, But again, I mean, if you break it, I'm sure you could just go get a different bolt, one that's better quality. So I mean, you can bitch about something that's 30 cents all day long, but I think it's a waste of your breath. So anyway, eshops, I don't think it's ugly by any means. I mean, when you're looking at the tank, it's barely noticeable unless you go, oh, hey, what's that little thing in the corner? So forgive the ice house. I know it's crappy beer, but it's cheap. Anyway, back to the filter. So this is my first sump that I've purchased. I've built a few, and they were garbage. They're just simply garbage. And I have to say, Trigger Systems is where it's at. I mean, you pay a couple bucks, but this is the Crystal 30 Trigger System sump. It is the crystal version because it doesn't have the red baffles or the green baffles. And this is a freshwater cichlid tank, so what I have right now is a little refugium going on with the filter sock. I have a little Airstone Volcano in the back right corner, It was in the tank, but I wanted to get all the extra doodads out of the tank if I could, you know. So that air stone will be removed, I think. But right now I'm just letting it cycle for right now. So anywho, back to the filter. I've got it going through a bunch of C-Chem matrix through a 100 micron filter stock. And then right now I've only got that one Amazonian sword in there. And this is all pre-seeded stuff. I just lost my flash, sorry y'all. But it goes right back into the return, and I've got a J-bow pumping it back into the tank. I was a little concerned the water level got a little low, but it seems to be keeping right there, and I've actually I've marked it with some black tape just to make sure that we're good, and it seems to be keeping steady right there. So we've been sitting here for about 15 minutes now. It doesn't seem to have gone any lower. So yeah, I will eventually have a different return kind of tube. You know, right now it's just kind of rigged, but it is filtering water, going through a sump, and then going back in my tank, and it's got some serious friggin' water flow, man. So far so good. I mean, I can't complain. It's an overflow box, you know, like it does but one task. You know, I don't know what people are expecting out of an inexpensive overflow box. I mean, you can get the CPR one all day long, but it's 120 bucks. I mean, this is 80 bucks. Like, I think I paid $75. But so far so good, man. I mean, what do you want it to do? Brew some coffee? I don't know, that'd be pretty sweet. But anyway, my phone's getting ready to die. Hence the no flash any longer. But yeah, man. So tell me what you think. I mean, should I make this angled and go down? Will that help my amount of water flow? I mean, is it gonna help it that much? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I still think I'm getting the same amount of water flow. I don't want to get more because that'll give me. I don't know. I don't know. Here's my first overflow and my first sump. So I got air stones. Oh, sorry, charcoal and purigen in the return chamber, because this chamber, because the water level is so low, it doesn't really seem to get a tremendous amount of flow through. So yeah, I figured put them in the return chamber, it'd be just as good. You know, have an air stone going through it. That way it breaks up surface tension. I don't have any of that film on top, which I did have prior to putting the stones in. Basically, that will break up that stuff and get it to go right back into the tank. I mean, I've heard pros and cons about protein skimmers for fish or freshwater. I mean, some people say you don't need it, but then you get the protein scum. So how do you remove that in a sump? Let me know. I'm learning. Preach.